Here's a quick and dirty review of Sonic and the Black Knight 2009. Okay, so I don't actually have a feasible way to play the game itself, so I can't really give my opinion on the gameplay that much. What I do know is that you can move Sonic in any direction along the track now, and that the sword play has some cool moves to pull off, and has more incentive to it. So yeah, that sounds like an improvement. This game is probably one of the more divisive games in the series because of the different gameplay style for both storybook games, and the premise of Sonic entering these different worlds being pretty out there. But hey, I think it's cool. The story starts off with this new lady called Merlina. She meets up to King Arthur, who was created by Merlina's grandfather, Merlin. His purpose was to become a benevolent ruler, but when he got his hands on the scabbard of Excalibur, he then became corrupted by its power and enslaved his own kingdom. Merlina summons a worthy warrior to combat against King Arthur. And what do you know? It's our favorite blue bitch. Funny thing is that during this, Sonic was supposed to be on a date with Amy, so that's why he has two jelly dogs with him. Sonic understands the situation and gets right into it, with Merlina stopping him before he does anything drastic. Merlina then explains to Sonic what we just said about King Arthur. Then she sends Sonic off to find a secret sword that'll be sure to put King Arthur out of commission. He finds it, but Merlina claims that if Sonic does pull out the sword and defeat King Arthur, he'll be the worst of knights, slayer of kings. But Sonic rules with this, not worrying about being the hero. He lifts up the sword to reveal Calibur. He can speak, by the way. They tend to have some royal banter between each other throughout the game, which is very enjoyable. They fight with King Arthur once more, but he lets them go, touting Sonic as unworthy of being slayed. They meet with Merlina again, and they discuss how to hinder the scabbard's power. Merlina tells him that the Lady of the Lake, Nimue, must be the one to help. Merlina decides to remain behind while they head to the blacksmith to sharpen up Caliburn. They then meet up with Lancelot to duke it out, but Sonic doesn't give him the final blow, but they do end up obtaining his sword. They meet with Nimue, and she gives Sonic 3 tests. Free the innocents from Arthur's dungeon, offer compassion to those in need, and defeat the King's Knights of the Underworld. Sonic is more than ready to take on these tests one by one, and heads off with Calibur. They then meet a young child whose village has been attacked by a huge dragon, and took their family away. Sonic comforts the child, saying that he'll take down the dragon, with Calibur being pretty hesitant, trying to tell Sonic to stay on task. But Sonic reassures to him that he plays by his own rules. They run into Sir Gawain, trying not to fight him, but Gawain, being as hard-headed as he is, instigates a duel anyway. Sonic takes him down, leading to Gawain questioning his position as a Knight of the Round Table, leading to him trying to kill himself. Oh Christ. Sonic gets furious about this choice and states that there's more to being a knight than serving a king. They slay off the dragon, save the people, head back to the child, and revealing that it was actually just Nimue in disguise. She awards Sonic as a true knight and tells him how to blunt the power of Excalibur. She explains that in order to dispel the power of immortality that protects King Arthur, Sonic must collect the sacred swords from the Knights of the Round Table and combine them alongside Calibur. Sonic, being confident in his ability, heads to Percival and gives her a well-deserved entrance. They battle each other, leading to Percival almost falling in lava, to which Sonic saves her. Calibur finally respects Sonic as a knight, claiming him as Sir Sonic, Knight of the Wind. Merlina meets up with them and thanks them for their actions, and tells him that King Arthur is on an island called Avalon. Sonic then heads off to defeat King Arthur once and for all. Calibur tells Sonic to give him everything he's got, and thus they start off the battle. Sonic encloses Arthur with the 3 swords and delivers the final blow, but then Arthur dissolves into a puff of smoke, revealing the scabbard he had. Merlina, on Castle Camelot, explains to the Knights of the Round Table that King Arthur was nothing more than an illusion made by Merlin. Sonic flies in and shows Merlina the scabbard. Merlina thanks Sonic for his duties and takes the scabbard and uses it to make the kingdom eternal, and summons the underworld in the kingdom, causing everyone to flee. The Knights of the Round Table resent their roles as knights, seeing the kingdom in ruin. But Sonic butts in and questions if this is the best they can offer to knights. Nimue shows up and devises a plan to use the sacred swords to create a barrier around the castle. Sonic plans to look for a chance to jump in and stop Merlina once the barrier is put up. They each head to the 4 barrier stones to insert each sword. The barrier is set up, but it's too weak to hold down the power of the underworld. Sonic jumps in with Calibur and meets with Merlina, and questions her as to why she did this. She claims that the kingdom will fail and not last, and that she will make this kingdom last forever. Sonic rebels against this choice, questioning what good there is in a world that lasts forever. He tries attacking Merlina, but her power is too strong for him. She sends an attack at him, but he blocks it with Calibur. But the attack is too powerful, and slices Calibur in half, sending Sonic in a pitiful rage to try and stop Merlina. But she's simply too much for him. The Knights of the Round Table try to convince Sonic to flee and get out of there, but Sonic stands his ground, and won't back down because it's what he thinks is right. This then casts the long-lost light of the sacred sword, and the Knights lend the swords to Sonic, granting him with golden armor and resurging Calibur back to life as Excalibur. Sonic and Merlina fight off once and for all, leading to Sonic finally giving Merlina this heartfelt message.
Merlina, every world has its end. I know that's kinda sad, but that's why we gotta live life to the fullest in the time we have. At least, that's what I figure.
Sonic's characterization throughout this journey is simply the best out of any other Sonic game. And now, with Sonic owning the Sword of Excalibur, everyone looks to him and learns that he is, in fact, the true King Arthur. And thus the story ends there. Oh wait, I forgot, Sonic was still on his date, meaning he basically forgot about it throughout his whole story, so now Amy is pissed off. Oh god! Overall, this is a more than worthy inclusion to the Sonic franchise, with one of the best stories and the single best Sonic characterization, gameplay that I haven't tried out yet, but seems to improve on what the first game set out to do, and the atmosphere, immersion, and setting is all great stuff. It really shows just how distinct Sonic can be when applied to other genres. 7 out of 10. See y'all next time.